Coming up on Relatables Baddies Book Club. He goes, "That's it, Nesta." He accentuated each word with a savage thrust. "Do I feel good to you?" She whimpered her confirmation, then managed to say, "I like it when you ride me hard. Every time I move, my body is sore." She had to fight for words. "For control. I think of you, of your cock." "Good. I want my cock to be the only thing you think about."
That's cold.
His pace faltered as he licked up the column of her neck. She could hear the taunting smile in his words as he whispered, "Because your pretty little cunt is the only thing I think about." All right, and then welcome to Relatables Baddies Book Club, where we will embark on a journey reading some of the finest pieces of literature you have ever laid eyes, or ears, if that's your preferred way to consume a book, on.
Oh, no. A Court of Silver Flames, chapters 61 till the end. Oh, Jake.
No, bro.
It's over.
I've been terrified to record this because it's over. After we record this is the last bit of immersion into the Akatar world.
It is.
That's good. That was fucking
It won't stay,
chill in there.
It won't stay. Hold on. Not like that. There we go.
So just open the book. Oh, what was in there? That's my book.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, so baddies. We finished the book.
We finished the book. Being transparent, we said 100 comments on Patreon and we would do it. We don't know if we're there yet, but
Last I checked, it was 56.
yeah, after 8 hours. So we're doing our due diligence and doing it. And I know a lot of people were like, you're going to miss or you're going to rush some of the chapters because it's the Sarah J. Maas effect and so much happened, which it did, which I'm kind of annoyed about, but we're not going to miss it in our recaps.
No, we're going to do it. We're going to go in depth as possible. I'm going to talk quickly. All right?
No. I don't reckon. Don't rush it.
Okay, don't rush it, radio. But I do want to start the
But
episode.
try and talk. Yeah, talk quickly. How does that? Think you can talk normally? Hey?
Yeah, I'll talk normally.
Yeah.
I got something that'll be a cheeky little Patreon exclusive. So if you want to listen to what it's like to read out the comments of a funny post that says, "Be honest, what's the most unrealistic thing about spicy scenes in books?" then head over there.
Nothing.
Okay, so Oddie, how do you feel?
I feel good. Look, to be honest, I felt rushed reading it. It was hard to... What?
Same.
It was hard to follow the storyline. It was going like, Nesta, Cassian's point of view, Nesta, Cassian, Nesta, Cassian. And then it was just like, together, and now we're here, and now we're there. And then we got Elaine's story. No, then we got fucking Azriel. It's just a bit of everything.
It was... It felt... I wasn't lost, but it felt like it was all over the shop.
It did. Look, I was happy with the storyline, but you said it to me yesterday when we were talking about, which I resonated with, was it could have been a whole nother book.
Here's what I don't like, right? I really don't like how, the queen, evil, Azriel's not allowed to even spy on her anymore, like, Koshi, death god, woohoo.
Yeah.
Like, they were not in the book at all until they were. And then they just weren't.
Yeah, I know. They just take him out like that. And I also feel like Sarah J. Maas does such good world building and making like Rhys and the Illyrians seem like this prestigious thing and they're the best warriors ever. And then like, I don't want to take away from what they did, but it just seemed like, oh yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, like it was hard, but it wasn't like the fucking, in my head it was like this impossible task.
Yeah.
And then like the world building, it took 5 books to make me really understand it. And then within 3 chapters, these 3 had done it. And I'm like
About the blood right?
I'm proud, yeah, the blood right. And I was like the storyline, but it felt like they could have made the blood right a whole fucking book of how hard it was. But they were just running around.
Yeah. It was, I got to say, it got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna I just need to finish this right now. I just need to.
I think that's also why we read the 20 chapters, because we couldn't stop at 10.
No, exactly.
With the Sarah J. Maas effect.
So
that's how we're feeling.
That's how we're feeling. It's hard as well because like I don't know how to write a book.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
But
know how, I don't know what a better ending could have been.
What's it called when like you're on the couch and you're watching like a sports team and you give advice?
Backseat coaching.
Yeah, something like that.
Backseat book
Like,
writing.
yeah, like lounge athlete or
Yeah.
something like that.
Everyone also was saying how much they loved this book. I want to genuinely know in the comments, how much did you guys love the end of the book?
To be fair, this is probably my favorite, but I'm gonna give. It was a 9 until the ending, and I'm gonna give it like a.
But we've said that about every single one. I feel like we've said that about every book so far. Like, it's so good, so good. But the ending kind of just felt rushed and could have been better.
Yeah,
Aka War,
yeah, it was the same actually. Yeah.
Aka Math, bro.
I know. Yeah.
Akatar, to be
It was
fair.
kind of giving Game of Thrones such a good series. Last season sucked.
Yeah. Also,
Last,
I
couple
couldn't
chapters.
tell you what the next book's going to be about. Wait, what
I think
could-
Azrael's point of view, Azrael and Elaine. But let's go through it.
Okay, chapter 61. So, Nesta has decided she's going to try and conquer these stairs again because she's like, the first time didn't count because I was pissed and I was fueled by anger. I was kind of thinking it still counts.
I was counting it.
So she goes again and she talks about the mental clarity and she's getting through these steps. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, not even faltering. 4,000, 5,000. I'm going to get through this. 6,000, 7,000. I'm going to do it. 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 steps down. She's done it, all right? And then she's like, I could literally just go into any tavern and drink as much wine as I want right now. No one would stop me. But Cassian's upstairs waiting for me because we have the Starfall party. I was like, who the fuck decides to walk down the 10,000 steps when they're about to go to a Starfall party?
Prove it to herself, man. We knew that was going to happen. She didn't want to dream. We could see
Yeah.
that from the very first time.
So, up she goes.
yeah, there you go.
She goes, back up. Cassian's waiting for her. She's crawling to the top by the time she gets back up to top, right? She gets up, Cassian picks her up. They go make sweet, sweet love before they go in. Or maybe not. I think they were kissing and stuff. Everything about them is sweet, sweet love to me, though. So they were kissing, and he's talking about, everyone, the party started a while ago. You're late. She goes, I had something to do, obviously. She gets on in there. She's still in her sweaty, gross clothes, all right? Everyone's up, Starfall party. We remember what Starfall is, right? It's the once a year, all the stars come down. Everyone gets powdered on and shit or get, cummed on by the stars and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Funny.
and everyone's kind of cheering. So we're all going. She's looking around. She's like, this is absolutely amazing. She sees like Azrael more, all that. I was going to say friends. They're not really her friends. But she sees everyone, right? And then she goes over and she's standing there. She sees Amren, right? Personally, I don't think Amren deserves her forgiveness. So Nesta gets down on one knee and she begs Amren for forgiveness. She says, she's so sorry. I used you. I used your kindness and I used it against everyone and I used it against you and I'm so sorry and all this stuff, right? And I think Amren was a bitch. She was a bitch. But hey, oh well. Maybe Nesta, bigger person. There you go. So then we find out that Nesta, right? So Amren and her make up. And Amren's kind of like, welcome back to the Night Court, Nesta. And she's very happy and, they're all friends again. And so then I'm not 100% sure how they get onto the topic of conversation, but Amren just randomly talks about how Nesta made the house. And she's like, what? And Amren's like, I can see it. She's like, I can feel it. She's like, you brought the house alive. It wasn't like this before you came here. And she's like, with your power, you literally brought it to life. You made it sentient. And Nesta was like, what? What the hell? And so Amren goes, yeah, what was the thing you wished for the most when you came here? And she goes, oh, well, I mean, I think I would have said out loud just to be left alone, but I think what I really wanted was a friend. And I was like, wow, that's depressing. That's sad, right? And then the house turned into her friend. And I was thinking, that is sad, bro.
I was thinking it's almost like it's imaginary.
Yeah, sad.
It shows how much she was going through and the hardship she was in. That's all she wanted.
True. I got to say, in terms of character development, Nesta had more character development in one book than Farah had over 4. So pretty sick.
Touching on that, I don't like how Farah, we can all admit, had her problems.
Yeah.
Now she's like this queen who's look, an all righteous being and does no wrong, and all her decisions are perfect. I'm
Yeah.
like, where did she come from?
I know.
Yeah.
Who 2 books ago, who was going to Farah for advice?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm
It's
like,
also been a year and a half
yeah,
since
I know.
then.
I know,
Like-
exactly. And like she's with every situation, she sees it for exactly how it is. And before she was like so had tunnel vision.
Feyre, as soon as she's not the main character in the book, she doesn't have main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Because main character syndrome is like narcissism type shit, right? As soon as she's not the main character, no more main character syndrome.
Yeah, and I kind of I miss Farah's point of view. Like, give me a little bit.
I kind of miss Feyre being slightly toxic.
Yeah, she had to. You can't just go from one side to the
To
complete
be
opposite.
completely honest, though, grass is always greener because when she was being toxic and annoying, we were like, Feyre's annoying us.
Yeah, but it made it more interesting. I hate how she's just like this all righteous being, and whenever Nesta comes in, Farah's just like does no wrong.
Yeah, and also she just like cuts Nesta so much slack because she loves her and stuff. I would if like Joanna was that much of a bitch, I'd be like, you know what? Death be on you.
Death be
Like,
on
I'm
you.
going to unleash Rhys on you. I actually don't think Rhys could kill Nesta if he tried. Cool.
Maybe now.
Chapter 62. I think that this is only like a couple days away. Sorry, this is like a couple days later. This isn't on the same night. They're kind of chilling, and it might be on the same night. I can't fully remember, but a red star is seen blasting across the sky. All right, and that's a bad omen. And the priestesses are all kind of like, oh no, something bad's happening. And apparently even Rhys was like very shook by it. So, in hindsight, now we know why the star.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hindsight's a bitch.
I know.
So,
Well, it's breadcrumbing.
fair.
But this is like you can't not see this breadcrumbing.
Yeah. So, everyone's kind of like, wow, what the hell? Like, whatever, cool. And so, Nesta and Cassian, they receive a letter from Eris, and he needs to meet like right away in the middle, right near the mountain. And they're kind of saying, okay, that's really weird, but oh well. That's the one that Rhys was obviously trapped under, and all of Prythian. And so when they get there, Eris is his fine and dandy old self, and he's kind of being a bit weird here, there, and then he starts to talk to Nesta about how it's really weird, the 3 peaks. There's 3 bold peaks, and a bold peaks means like a big mountain that's just come out of nowhere, no other mountains around it. So there's the mountain in the middle. It has a palace in the middle. There's the Court of Nightmares. Oh, sorry, no. There's the prison. That's another bold peak, and it's got the prison in there, and obviously something else because of the harp. And then there's Ramiel, and Ramiel is the mountain that the Illyrians is sacred to the Illyrians, and so they've never ever gone to venture into the mountain to see if there's like a big palace in there. And apparently Eris finds it a bit weird. So Eris goes on to say, I needed to meet with you very quickly because my dad, he just went back to meet Briallen without telling me he was going to meet Briallen. He just got back, and I think that like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen very soon. And so they're thinking, okay, shit. He's like, yeah, like Nesta, they're just waiting for you to get the harp. And Nesta goes, oh, I just realized we never told Eris that we found the fucking harp. And he sees on her face, he goes, oh, you have it. And so then they get in this, pissy fit argument about like how they forgot to tell him and stuff. And apparently Cassian's being like a beast in this. He's being like very calm, very collected. And Nesta's kind of like, oh, I've never heard him use his voice before. I'd like to use it. I'd like him to use it in the bedroom and stuff. Cassian's getting under Eris's skin and stuff. I don't know. I think he's kind of just being really, because you know how at the start when Cassian was first being a courtier
He was just
and
a
he
brute.
sucked at it,
Yeah.
they needed to show that he could do it.
Yeah.
And then when they leave, Nesta's like, where'd that come from? Because he picks her up, they go flying back home, right? He's like, she's like, where'd that come from? He goes, honestly, I just pretended I was you the whole time. And I was like, that was pretty smooth.
That was smooth.
That was pretty smooth, bro. That's a good compliment.
Yeah.
And they land in the middle of Alaris, right? And they start going for a walk. And she's like, oh, whoa. So he's holding her hand. He leans down, brushes a kiss over her neck. And she's kind of like, what, what are you doing? He's like, I want everyone to see it. I want everyone to see that we're sharing a bed. I don't care anymore. I want to shout it from the rooftops, all right? I want to shout it. And so she's kind of a little standoffish. And he's kind of like, what's wrong with you? And then I started getting a little argument. And I'm not entirely sure. I think he goes, she's kind of like is me being with you going to affect how people see me because you're the general of the High Lord's armies? And so he says, who cares? And she goes, I care. And then they start to go, he's like, Nesta, we are, you know what we are, right? And she's kind of like, what? He goes, say it. At this point, I was like, what is it? I was like, what is it?
I knew it was mates.
See, like, I thought he was referring to that, but I was also like, there's been no revelation moment.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of out of nowhere, out of the blue.
And so he's going, say it. And she's like,
What?
say what?
Yeah.
He said, fucking say it. And I was like, Jesus, it's a bit demanding, but whatever. And then he goes, so we're fucking mates, Nesta. And then she's kind of like not accepting it. And he's like, we literally are mates.
Well, it kind of highlights commitment,
Yeah.
and that scares Nesta.
So she's a little bit scared. He's like, what are you scared of? And so she goes on to say, like, because she obviously wants to be mates, but he gets out of her what she's scared of is the fact that she's like, it's just a word. I don't care about that. I just want to be with you. Like, it's just a word. And he's like, what's wrong? Talk to me. She goes, if I start accepting it, that means that I'm no longer human. I have no more human left in me.
This made zero sense to me.
And he goes, I thought you wanted to be a fae.
Yeah.
I thought you liked it. She goes, yeah, but I don't have a choice. And then he goes, well, I don't have a choice to be shackled to you either.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she takes that, like, to be fair, bad wording. And, of course, she's like, oh, I felt that down to my bones and shit like that. And then she's all fucking livid that he's like, I'm shackled to you. And he straight away, he goes, that was a poor choice of wording. Ness, like, come on. And so then this part pisses me off, all right? They get in this argument. And then she goes, I can't fucking be near him right now. And she calls in her favor.
Oh, this was the worst use
Oh my God, bro.
of
So
the favor ever.
So so he's groveling, trying to be like, oh no, I didn't mean that. She's going,
So petty.
nah, fuck you.
So petty.
All right? How fucking dare you say you're shackled to me? Even though she wants the mating and
Yeah.
he wants the mating, and then he just slips up one word and he straight away goes, oh no, sorry, that was the wrong wording. Like, you know what I mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're mated. Like, it's a thing that's a bond. And so she straight away goes, I'm going to call in my bargain. I want you to go to the House of Wind and wait for me to come and talk to you. And if a week passes, that's when you can leave. I was like,
We can't come to me for a week.
yeah, you can.
You can do whatever you want, but you can't come to me for a week.
What the? This is stupid.
And the writing of what happens next. It was like, oh, so Canal Cassie's not going to find out what happened to him.
Oh.
And we had such a creative strategy to use
Yeah,
the favor
yeah.
or use the bond or whatever, and just like that,
The bargain,
the bargain.
bro. I had the best strategy for using the bargain.
We thought she was going to be an absolute animal.
Yeah, we thought that she was going to go into some very, very dangerous
Yeah.
thing that she really wanted to do to save the fucking Prithian, and she was going to go kill Koshi and shit.
Yeah.
And he was going to say, no, I will not let my mate go. And she was going to say, I'm calling in my bargain then.
Yeah.
You're letting me go, bitch. And then she was just going to go fuck shit up with her Valkyrie girls and shit.
We should have wrote this book.
We
down.
should. So he's obviously like, he feels the bargain snapping into place. He goes to lunge at her to give her a hug, and the bargain holds him back. So he flies up to the
Tattoo's
house.
gone.
Yeah, Tattoo's gone. He flies up to the house, right? So he flies up to the house, and then she gets Moore to winnow her to Emery's place, and she goes into Emery's place. Like, Moore doesn't ask any questions, and Moore fucks off. She goes into Emery's place, and then she just collapses on the floor crying, and Emery picks her up. They have dinner. Gwyn comes and randomly just leaves the fucking library. Never left it, apart from training. But Moore winnows Gwyn in. And so then they're staying there, they're talking and stuff, and they're like going through everything. They're just having a girls' night together. And
But
she's
maybe playing devil's advocate, it was part of the Valkyrie's sense of she knew Nesta needed her.
true. They go on to say the craziest thing about this is, Gwyn, you've left the fucking library.
Yeah.
And so then she goes, yeah, let's not talk about it. I'm actually kind of freaking out. All right. And I was like, okay, valid.
Yeah.
So then they decide to stay at Emery's place. And they're about to go to sleep, and Nesta gets into bed at Emery's house, and she's in her nightgown, and she's like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to go talk to Cassian. I'm going to tell him I want all of it. I want to be a mate. I want everything. I'm going to tell him I'm so sorry. I'm going to beg for forgiveness and stuff. I was thinking, oh my fucking God, bro. Go there now.
I know.
Why would you stay at an Illyrian camp where they think you're a witch?
Yeah, honestly. It was giving like reminiscence of like Belly and Conrad, to be honest. It's just like, I can't admit my feelings to you. And then as soon as I'm away, I'm in love with you.
I know.
I love you so much. We're mates. I was like, you knew this beforehand.
Oh.
Why do you
So-
have to hurt his feelings to know it?
So then, in the middle of the night, 3 Illyrian males come in and steal Emery, Nesta, and Gwyn.
This was my reaction.
This was me. I was like this. I was like,
Of fucking course.
oh my god. So, fuck. We're on chapter 63 and it's 30 minutes in. We're fucked up. Then
3 chapters.
chapter 63.
There's only one line here at least.
So Cassian wakes up and he's like, oh, I'm gonna have to teach Nesta how to word bargains because I can very easily work around this bad boy in terms of like I know how to get to her.
Yeah.
So he gets Reese and Moore to winnow him to Emery's place, and they go in, and straight away as soon as they land, sorry, not Moore, just Reese. And so straight away they land, and Reese goes, they're not in there. They barge the fuck in there. They go through the rooms. There's been a struggle. There's blood, and they can smell males and everything. They're like, what the fuck is going on? And then they're like, wait, no. They're like, oh, no, they wouldn't do that. The girls have been swept away in the night to go and partake in the blood rite.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was pissed about this.
I was pissed too. Oh, like we said before, I liked how the 3 girls kind of like,
Yeah, no, facts. I liked that they didn't want to do it. How they were like, yeah, we can go if we want, but we want to be Valkyries.
yeah, we don't need that to be valued. We find value in ourselves.
I know. It's,
And
I guess
we find out that it was not the Illyrians who did it.
it actually was.
So like it makes sense. But also at this point in time reading, I was like, come on.
Yeah, it's very, very, very annoying. But oh well. So, Nesta wakes up, right? She's been knocked out by like horse tranquilizer or some shit. So, she wakes up surrounded by Illyrians, like a couple hundred.
Mm.
And she's thinking, she realized, she goes, fucking hell, you're joking me. She's just in a nightgown.
Yeah.
And so, they've all been dumped. She can't feel any magic. She can't feel it. She just feels like a human again. And so she wakes up first and she goes, shit, weird. Oh, well. And she wakes up and she's like, just stunned, thinking, what the fuck do I do? And so then she notices another male, big ass motherfucker, bro. He wakes up. He's like, ha 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 ha, you're mine. Then she sees him look at a knife. She goes, a knife? This whole time, by the way, I just was like, I am so oblivious. So there's a knife, and she's going, they're not allowed to have knives. They're not allowed to have weapons. They're supposed to make everything
It's meant to be hand-on-hand combat.
hand-in-hand combat. If you make a weapon out of wood or rock or whatever, it's fine. But like, there's supposed to be nothing out here. How's there steel out here? And so she goes, fuck, what do? Do I go for the knife, or do I run away from him? And then here's what's annoying about it all, right? Is in the chapters, they don't do chapter for chapter. In the chapters, they switch from Cassian to Nesta, right? So back to Cassian.
Even explaining it sounds confusing.
It does sound confusing, right? So back to Cassian. Now, there's a law regarding the blood rite where regardless, so if you're in the blood rite, you're in it. If anyone tries to tamper and get you out, the person that tries to get you out and the person that gets out is hunted down and killed. For the rest of their existence, they're hunted. So Reese can't change the laws. Amryn can't change the laws. No one can change the laws. So the 3 girls, they're stuck there. Cassian especially can't do anything because he's the general of the Illyrians. So the whole entire Illyrian army would fall apart if he interfered, even though he really wants to. And then they all come in. Cassian's like, I'm just going to have to fucking chill here and wait for her. Like, I'm just going to, I don't know, try and watch. I have no idea. But then they go, we've got some bad news. Sorry, mate. You're going to be busy for the next couple of days because Aerys got captured by Bray Allen. He's like, fuck off. What are you talking about? And then Breece goes, you and Az have to go get him. He goes, why don't you go get him? What are you talking about? You go fucking get him. And he's like, I can't. Pharaoh goes, yeah, he can't. He's like, why can't Reese go? Reese, you're literally Reese, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I understand why Pharaoh can't go, but Reese, why can't you go? My fucking mate's in the blood rite. Why are you making me go?
Yeah.
I was like, valid.
But no.
And then
So everyone's
annoyed
there.
me
This
too.
killed me, bro. Everyone's there, right? So
I can't believe we didn't clock onto this.
I know. So everyone's like, so
Sit down.
I'm gonna go sit down. The reason I can't go is because Farah and I made a bargain that we would die together. So if I go and I die, Farah dies, and so does the baby. And then Cassian's like, so does that mean that when Farah has the baby, if she dies, you die? And everyone's like, fuck. And so everyone's just like, holy fuck. And Amryn goes,
Why would you do this, Reese?
Amryn's going, who the fuck makes a bargain to do that?
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, actually, who the fuck does make a bargain to do that? That was the most selfish bargain anyone's ever made, because what about when you have kids?
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess they weren't planning in the future. Especially, Reese should have known that Pharaoh didn't have the pelvis to birth an Illyrian. He should have known that. Obviously, Pharaoh is unbeknownst to it all.
Okay, okay. So, Farah turned into an Illyrian when she got pregnant. That means every single part of her turns Illyrian, right? She falls pregnant. Like, after the sex, she turns back human. She falls pregnant. Oh, no, Faye. She falls pregnant, right? She realizes she's pregnant. And then Marja's like, don't do any sort of shape-shifting just in case it hurts the baby, all right? I'm thinking, how about you just fucking shape-shift into an Illyrian once, all right? Take the risk. Because then, if it works out, you're literally going to be fine. You can have the baby. You'll have an Illyrian anatomy.
Yeah, exactly. Loopholes, mate. Loopholes. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, well.
There's a few holes.
There's a couple holes, Paul.
It comes back to that fantasy thing. We said it a few episodes ago where just read open-minded and don't try and find the plot holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Read it
True.
for what-
I dig too much.
Read it for what it is, and that's all whatever it will be.
Yeah, fair. So, oh my God. So they're all like, what the fuck is going on? And then Cassian's going, fuck this. Aerys can die. I don't care. Honestly, he got captured. Let him fucking die.
Game's a
bro.
game.
Game is the fucking game. Why do I have to go save him?
Yeah.
Then they basically convince him to go save him, right? Excuse me. So, they're all, fuck. I think they're thinking that he can't be put under the spell of the crown that Bry Allen has because he has been given the Maid Dagger. They don't really know for sure. But, okay. Back to Nesta. So, Nesta goes for the knife.
Yep.
Same as the other male. She gets there. He body checks her, bro. They go tumbling down a hill. Boom, 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 getting fucked up, right? And then they get to the bottom of this creek bed. And then he's on top of her. But he's not moving because guess what's in his throat? The knife. She got it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whips him off. Takes his clothes. Everything's too big for her.
Oh, yeah. I found it funny. She was in her nightgown.
Yeah. Butt ass naked for some of this, by the way.
Yeah.
So, she's on the tread. She's going to look for her friends. She notices that her bracelets that they made together at their slumber party, if she's going one, so there's she goes this way, it's glowing. If she goes that way, it's not glowing. That means this way, one of her friends is in trouble. All right, and the magic that the blood right just so happens to dampen doesn't work on these things because you have to be very specific when you're using a magic spell.
Well, also because they probably didn't think the Valkyrie's magic for 3 Fey women would be a thing in the
Very true.
blood right.
Very true. So she's going along, and out of nowhere, she's on her own. She wakes up before the other Illyrians, right? And so she kills that one. She's going along, but then a couple more have woken up, and an arrow swings past her face, okay? And so she's like, holy fuck, now there's arrows out here, there's bow and arrows and shit. She goes back, she takes it out of the tree to have like an arrow as a weapon. She goes to like see where it came from. She is ducking down, gets over this little hill, and then just in her face, arrow. The warrior's like, get the fuck up, all right? So,
This was all very cool. It was giving Hunger Games.
yeah, it was given Hunger Games, to be fair. The Blood Right's given major Hunger Games.
But it was cool. I was thinking, this is sick.
Yeah.
And the dramatized audio, all the voices of all the Illyrians was cool.
Yeah, true. And now back to Cassian. Sorry, guys, confusing, but he's just flying over with Azriel, the Queen's castle. And he's like, I want to go in. Azriel says, we're not going in. I'm telling you right now, it's more watered than Valaris, all right? We're not going in there. We have to wait for them to leave, and then we have to track them. They argue, whatever. Chapter 66. The Illyrian warrior that Nesta has run into. So the warrior's like, give me your weapons to Nesta. And she gives him the arrow. She's slowly starting to give him weapons. And then she's like she's like kind of bowing as if she's like surrendering, but she's still got the knife in her hand. She's about to put it down, and then she just flings it and she throws it into his groin, right into his balls, bro. And so then,
Was it his nuts?
yeah, she says he's nuts.
Oh, was it? I
Yeah.
just thought it was his his groin.
I
nuts?
swear she spoke about his nuts.
I was thinking like,
groin.
yeah, true. You could be right.
Flings
makes
it
sense,
up
yeah.
into his nuts or some shit. He's kind of like, wow. Falls down. She jumps up, kicks it even further.
Can you
In.
do that again?
Wow. That's what he did. And so then she's runs off and she hears a whole bunch of males talking, right? She kind of creeps up and they're talking about that bitch, all right? And they're talking about, I'm pretty sure Emery, because they said, oh, that one, like, they said, like, that crippled bitch, which is Emery because of her wings. And so they talk about how, so she got away from them. They were going to kill her, but she got away using the creek. And the creek, that she's like near a creek, right? And she goes down, she goes, fuck it. She follows downstream. She's looking for Emery. She finally gets down to the edge of it where there's like a big ass waterfall. She goes, fuck, hopefully she didn't go down there or else she'll be dead. She sees her out in the middle, stuck to like a tree branch. She's not moving. She doesn't even look conscious. Nesta strips naked, goes into the creek. It's freezing cold. She goes, she retrieves Emery, gets her by to the riverbank, and she lights a fire, she's chilling. She's like, fucking hell, it's like midday. I gotta find shelter. I can't be out here when the beasts start roaming. So she's thinking, fuck, okay. She hides Emery under some leaves because she's still unconscious. She goes for a walk. She's looking for caves. She said there's caves near rivers. That's what Cassian told me because the water does it. She's looking around, can't find one. And then she hears a voice saying, the entry's over here. She's like, fuck, it's an Illyrian male. Not the biggest of guys, but he's an Illyrian male. And so she's like, fuck. She's freaking out. And then he goes, look, I'm not going to hurt you. You know, I know who you are. I'd be an idiot to fucking kill you. And so she goes, hey, fuck it. And he's like, yeah, I assume the reason you're not in a tree yet is because you have a friend. So you're going to have to go get your friend. You're going to have to bring her in this cave. So he helps her. They go in the cave. They're chilling. They hear monsters and stuff. This is the first night. And they just hear throughout the night, Illyrian warriors are just getting eaten up by monsters and shit. And I was like, what monsters are these?
Yeah, and why do they just live purely there?
Yeah.
But they could smell them apparently. That's why they were picking them out of the trees.
So they survive the night in the cave. And the next day, old mate, Illyrian guy, I think his name's like Balthazar or some shit. He fucks off. Nesta goes, yeah, you can
What
leave me the fuck
happened to
alone.
him?
I don't know. Not
I-
mentioned again.
Because I thought he was going to come back at the very end and like save Nesta
Same.
or help. And I
Yeah.
was like, he's coming.
Not mentioned again.
Never again. I thought I missed something.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Not mentioned again. So he buggers off, and then she goes out and she finds more clothes from all the dead Illyrians that have been killed and brings them back for Emery. And Emery wakes up. And
What about the shit yourself comment?
I know.
I had to find some where like didn't have blood on them from all the fighting, but also they shit themselves when they saw the beast.
Yeah, they all died. When they were getting killed, they all pooed their pants and shit.
Relatable.
So she comes back. Emery's awake. She's like, all right, we need to go find Gwyn. Now, they both go out. They're on the hunt for Gwyn. They're finding some more weapons and stuff from these dead Illyrians. And then they get to a point where, so they're following their glowy wrists again. And they go and they find, like they hear a bunch of males again. And they see a camp. And tied up in a tree is Gwyn's nightgown. And they're thinking, fuck, is she dead? So they go, they creep up. And they say, okay, Nesta, you poke your head out because my wings will be seen. And so Nesta pokes her head out. She's like, fuck, okay, so there's 10 of them. They've got this, they've got this, they've got this. And she looks around. Emery, gone. A couple of Illyrians fucking dragged her down a hill. So then she goes down. Both of them captured. It's Bellius, Emery's cousin.
Yeah, of course.
The cunty cousin.
This guy was a C-U-N-T.
Right, he was a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. He's like playing with his food
Right?
too.
He was, wasn't he?
He's also
So-
a fucking weapon.
yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Actually. He's actually a beast. He seems like a beast.
He was untouched.
He was, to be fair, untouched, yes. So they're all about, there's 10 of these motherfuckers. And he's like, here, I thought that nightgown would get you guys. You guys are dumb. This is going to be great. But I'm pretty sure. So Nesta notices that Bellius is all glassy-eyed and shit. And it's the same as those Autumn Court soldiers. So she's thinking, fuck, did he get fucking, influenced by Bray Allen? And so she's like putting two and two together. She's like, fucking hell, Bray Allen infiltrated the Illyrians. And that's why there's weapons in here and shit. And she's like, why would she do that? She can't think of as to why she would do it, but she did it. And so she realizes that Bellius is under the influence of Bray Allen. And thinking, okay, fucking hell, we need to get out of here. They accept death. And then out of nowhere, some big ass fucking cat, like lion, whatever.
You're like tentacles or something.
Dude, yeah, they're about to get like full. Some guy with a sword's about to chop one of their heads off, and then his guts just go flying everywhere. And they're thinking, what the fuck? All the Illyrians are thinking, shit, okay, they all get in formation. There's this big ass scary cat. And then Gwyn goes, psst, hey, I'm over here. Fuck, you know, Gwyn goes, yeah, I woke up and was in the blood, right? Fuck some shit up. And then I realized where these monsters sleep. And apparently they hate being woken up. So just let them loose on these motherfuckers.
Gwen's my favorite.
Yeah, Gwyn's a beast, eh?
She's so cool.
Chapter 68. They spend the night in a tree, and Gwyn shows them how she's used a tree to like help her rest and shit. Tie themselves up there with ropes. Then they have a suss out. They can see Ramiel in the distance, and they're like, okay, it's going to take a couple of days to get there. That gives us a day to climb it. And that would be, and we can only climb it on the quickest path, and that's the Enulus path or some shit like that. They say, what's the Enulus path? Or like Annalius or some shit. And so Emery goes on to say about the history of Illyrians, how they used to be suppressed by those like people that are, the Fae that were like Lanthus.
And she knew it because of her brother and her father.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shut up about it.
So there was this whole thing that back in the day, one of the first Illyrian warriors held his own up on the mountain, and he used this path that is now called the Enulus path, or they call it the breaking or some shit, because it was a very sketchy path to take up the mountain, and he held his own for like 3 days against a whole army, and he saved their species or some shit. And so now the whole blood rite is dedicated to honor him, right? So they're thinking, wow, this is fucking insane. Now, the next day, they're just trudging along now, all right? They're chilling, going for a walk. It's going to take a long, long time. So they see a bridge in the distance, but they also see some males in the distance. They both look at the bridge and they're like, okay, we're obviously the first ones to see this bridge because whoever crosses this bridge would have just cut it and not let anyone else pass. So they start running to the bridge. They realize they're not going to make it, so they have to go fight the males. They go in, they do some sick Valkyrie shit, and they fuck these males up. They win, all right? But now there's another group of males with arrows. So they run, they get to the bridge, right? Gwyn is behind. She gets shot by an arrow. She goes, go, you have to go, you have to cut the rope. Cut the rope, cut the rope, cut the rope. And they're like, we're not leaving you, we're not leaving you. They do some sick ass shit where Emery and Nesta get to the other side of the bridge, they tie themselves to a tree or some shit, and then Nesta like shoots an arrow over to Gwyn and goes, fucking tie this around yourself, starts running across the bridge. She gets halfway across the bridge, they cut it, all right, because these males are coming. She's like, fucking goes, she hits the massive ravine wall, they pull her up and shit, they're all like bloodied and stuff from the whatever, and they survive. And they're thinking, fucking hell, it was crazy. And then they go stay in another tree, right? And this is when they start talking about the history of it. They both talk about their past. Gwyn says, 2 years ago, I was chilling in my temple, right, with my sister, who I've known since birth. And
Obviously, yeah.
I was chilling with my sister, and she like talks about her sister being like hectic and stuff. And
Always looked at her. She was a strong one.
and so she goes, yeah, I was raped 2 years ago by a Highburn general. And what happened was they sacked our temple. They were looking for something. They come in. My sister runs in and says, save the children. She goes back. Her sister goes back to go help all the other priestesses. Gwyn goes to save the children, and she gets the children. She puts them down in this basement. She can't get in the basement on her own without actually hiding the children. So she puts a rug over the floor where the basement door was. She turns around, and the soldiers are there. They've got like her sister and shit.
Sad.
Yeah, they've got her sister by like the hair and shit, and they go, where's the children? And Gwyn's like, don't know what you're talking about. They fucking they took the mountain path to go get help. And he's like, liar, where's the fucking children? He goes, and he's like, I'll fucking kill your sister if you don't tell us. And she's like, I told you that. She's like,
Don't know.
they took the fucking mountain path.
Yeah.
All right? This motherfucker beheads her sister right in front of her. All right?
That is
And then he goes, this one's mine, rapes her. All right?
Yeah.
When he's done, he says to his soldiers, keep on going, all right? Finish what I started until she talks. And as soon as one of the soldiers was about to go rape her, that's when Azrael comes in.
Yes.
Azrael just comes in, flips his shit and kills everyone. Moore comes in, Reese comes in, boom, everyone's dead. And then Moore and Reese take Gwyn to the library.
Yeah.
That's why she's been to the library. And so Gwyn can't forgive herself because she can't keep herself, like, she can't save her sister. So how can she save
She
Nesta
thinks it was her
herself?
fault.
Yeah. And so then Emery goes on to say her past. Her dad was abusive, always like beating her mum and then beating her and then snips her wings. And she had a very, very, very difficult life. And everyone used to love her dad and say, you have such a good father. And she's like, what the hell? I don't have a good dad. But
Two-faced
like,
motherfucker.
like apparently I have a great dad. And so she talks about hers. And then Nesta goes on to say, well, I just drank and fucked anything in sight. All right. And you motherfuckers are going to hate me for this, but that's all I fucking did for the last 2 years. My dad died. I couldn't save him. My sisters used to like go out in the woods and shit. They just all talk about their bad histories. And then they all just become even closer.
Yeah, it was kind of beautiful.
Yeah, well, it was
Bonding
beautiful.
over trauma, and then
It was.
Yeah, I think it was depictive of how tightly knit they are now.
Yeah. And so then at the end of it, Nesta goes, you know what? Let's go fucking win this thing.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Let's
Th-
fuck off everyone.
This annoyed me before. She was like, "Let's hide,"
Yeah.
and they're like, literally 2 chapters ago, "Let's hide," and
Yeah.
let's just let this thing go. This is under the mountain, and
Yeah.
then now she's like, "Now let's fucking do it."
She's like, all right, let's fucking. That might be later, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's later because she goes, let's fucking win this thing. Because
Oh,
they're
the
at the
other way
base
around,
of
yeah.
No, it's right now. They're at the base of Ramiel right now. And the reason that they talk about the histories is because Emery goes, well, we've made it to the base of Ramiel. Not many even make it this far. We could go hide and we will just be sweet. Once dawn comes, we'll have our magic back, we'll heal, Reese will come get us or some shit. Like, we're chilling. And that's when Gwyn goes, no, fuck that, let's do this thing. They all talk about the histories, and that's when Nesta goes, yeah, let's go win this thing. All right, so Cassian and Azriel fly around this castle for 4 days, bro. All right? Now, finally, a caravan leaves, and it's got Eris and Bray Allen.
Caravan.
They called it a caravan.
Was that the wording in
They
it?
called it a caravan.
Okay, I
Yeah.
missed that.
And so, or like a wagon, but they called it a caravan.
Yeah.
So a caravan leaves the castle, and they're like, okay, this is our guy. Now, it doesn't look like Eris is under her influence. So they're like, fucking traitor. That traitor, let's go kill him. Let's
I
go
was
fucking
thinking,
kill him.
of course.
Yeah, of course, bro, of course.
This is Baron's son.
So they follow them, and they follow them for like for quite a while, and then they get to a point where they have to follow them. They can't follow them in the skies anymore. They have to follow them on foot. All right, chapter 69. Actually, it's never mentioned whether or not they actually. No, it is mentioned in the book that Nesta and Cassian do 69 a couple of times. You know how there would be.
Is it?
You know how there would be those passing moments that she'll be like, and then there was weeks of us fucking every day. I never slept in his bed, and he never
yeah.
slept in my bed. And then she talks about the things that she'd tried with him. Like there was also a time where he was having his way with my parts, and I had him deep in my throat and shit. And I was like, oh, fucking 69.
Yeah, shit, I didn't even clock that.
Yeah,
when
do you
they
remember
wrote
that?
it. Yeah, I do remember it.
Damn, all right. Sorry, that was a bit of like out of the nowhere.
Well, if people didn't know, our old TikTok used to be Relatable 69.
I know.
We
And
changed
our
it because we had to get professional.
our email still says Relatable 69.
Yeah.
Made before we thought we would ever be something.
Yeah. I remember the conversation, and Jake made up Relatable 69. I said, oh, what if like people ever want to email us? You're like, that's never
Like,
going to
I was
happen.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, get your head out of the clouds, mate.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Touch grass, bro.
I was delusional from the start, mate.
Look where delusion got us.
I know, exactly.
Okay. Anyway.
69
Chapter
with
60.
a book.
Chapter 69. Azriel and Cassian follow Eris and Bray Allen into some woods, right? So they can't fly anymore. So they're down on foot, tracking on foot, and they follow them into the woods, and they say, this place feels sus, bro. This place feels suspect. Feels like they're in the middle. We all know what the middle is. It's where under the mountain is. So they go and they come up, and they're at a small lake. And then they think they're being all sneaky. They hear some soldiers talking. And then out of nowhere, Eris sneaks up on Cassian, has a knife to his fucking ribs, bro. All right. Now,
But that waistband thing.
again, the annoying thing is from there we go to Nesta's POV.
This is so annoying.
So, Nesta, Gwyn, and Emery, they're thinking, fuck, we're actually like pretty far up the mountain. We're kind of getting there. And it's been treacherous so far. They haven't gone into too much detail. Then they see that Bellius, Emery's cousin, and like 5 other Illyrian warriors are following them and they're gaining on them like pretty quickly. Now, back to Cassian. So Eris goes, so Azriel's obviously kind of like, well, I can't do anything. He's got a knife to fucking Cassian's ribs. And at this point in time, Cassian doesn't think that Eris is under Brion's control or anything. He's thinking traitor.
Yeah. I thought that too.
So did I.
I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah,
I knew it.
It tracks on everything.
Yeah.
It tracks. And so Cassian's thinking, fucking Eris is like, I'm disappointed, honestly, that all Rhys had to do was look into my mind, bro. And him and his morals and shit, like, he needs to utilize that Daemati shit.
Yeah, Rhys is pissing me off.
Is it? Same.
Doesn't look in anyone's mind.
Use the Dread Trove.
Even Feyre.
You use the swords. Use the Dread Trove. Use your fucking Daemati powers
I'll be getting
and cross some lines.
I'll be getting in there all the time. I'm going to order a coffee. Daemati. Fucking going to the gym. Daemati. I'll be doing everything.
I'd be like,
Daemati.
if I was Daemati and I was going to order a coffee,
Yeah.
before I walk in, I'd go into their mind. I'd tell them what I want, and then I'd say, when you see me, just say the usual, the usual, and so I feel like a local. So, and then Eris is going on about Rhys or whatever, and then he starts talking about, he starts going, oh, and then there's all you and this chat about the Morrigan. And then that's when Cassian goes, the fuck? I've never heard you call her Morrigan in your fucking life. So then Cassian clocks he's under Bryalen's control.
What?
Bryalen would call him Morrigan.
Oh, so when they are under their control, it's still being controlled, but I thought that was still like under their own mind. So it would be their own words.
I believe,
So he's actually physically like thinking about what they do.
I think that she with the crown, like Bryalen with the crown, is so powerful with that crown that she is literally like, she's making Eris move.
Yeah, okay.
Or I think it's more of a,
I thought it was
she's-
more like a spell, you're my bitch now.
I think it's more of she's willing them to do it.
Ah, okay.
So she's not actually, like, whatever she says goes, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And there must be times where she can just fully go in and just be that person. I have no fucking idea, whatever. But so then he's like, damn, under control. All right, back to Nesta. The girls, they're up at the Annulus Pass. All right, Annulus, we hear some history about. I said that earlier about the warrior, the history. So they make it, and they're chilling there for a second, and they're just like, oh, we are fucked. We need to rest. And they're going, we can't rest. Bellius is literally not far away. We need to make it to the top. And where the Annulus Pass is kind of a spot where they can chill for a minute because it's like flat and stuff. Gwyn, she's like fucked up, pale, can barely walk anymore. She needs to be carried. Emery actually has twisted her ankle, so she's limping and stuff. Nessa's the only one that's the strongest of all of them. And actually, I might add, with all this, they ran out of food like a day ago, and all they have is water.
I remember.
So, Gwyn and... Nesta and Emery, they're kind of like, if anyone's going to get to the top, it should at least be someone, right? So they all have a crack. Nesta puts Gwyn on her back. They start climbing out of the Annulus Pass. They get up over some sketchy boulders, and then they switch back up across the top of the Annulus Pass. And Emery's in front. Gwyn and Nesta, they fucking collapse because Nesta's strug dogging. She falls face first back down at the Annulus Pass. She's got Gwyn with her. Emery's thinking, fuck, are you good? Are you good? Nesta's like, oh my gosh. She goes, I can't carry you up. And Emery can't. I don't think she can carry you up. And she goes, I'm going to have to hold them off, like Bellius and shit, while you guys go up. So Gwyn says no because of her past, how she like feels as though she let her sister die. So she's not going to let Nesta die. And then they have a bit of a cry. And then Nesta goes, you know what, fine. And they go to hug. And then Nesta does some weird, crazy Illyrian technique where you touch someone on the neck and they pass out. She knocks Gwyn the fuck out, right? Goes to Emery, come down, get this bitch, fuck your twisted ankle, get her to the top, I'll hold you off.
But how, we just established that she couldn't carry her like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. Bit of plot holes, but I guess it is what
That
it
was
is.
also, that was also, that's like a Vulcan thing. They do that. It's a nerve pinch and it knocks them straight out.
Is that a joke? We can do that?
I don't think it's legit.
Oh.
It'd be sick if it was. I'd be
It'd be
doing that all the time, eh?
It'd be so
People would do that in real life. Just boop.
I would do it all the time.
Yeah.
Bets everyone. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. So, Cassian and Azriel, back to Cassian, by the way, they are told they need to follow. So once, by the way, Cassian realizes Eris is under Bryalen's control, I think he says something along the lines of like, why don't you come out and play? So then Bryalen does come out.
Mm.
And so Cassian and Azriel follow Eris and Bryalan to the lake.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, they're both thinking, obviously they don't know that Eris has a knife that was made by Nesta. And so they need to get him the fuck out of there, or the knife at least just out of there, or else Koshi gets his hands on that shit, unstoppable. No one can stop him just because of how powerful he is, plus the made object and stuff. Like, they're fucked up. So then they're at the lake and they see what looks to be a shadow of a figure. And it turns out that is Koshi. And he hasn't really shown like a full form or anything like that. He must be scary, bro.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about, the necromancer in The Hobbit. So
What's the necromancer again?
the necromancer is the fucking main bad guy, but in The Hobbit he's just the necromancer, and he turns into the main bad dude in The Lord of the Rings. And
Yes,
when fucking Gandalf goes, they're in that sus forest, and he goes to that old ruins of like a castle, and that fucking shadowy figure comes out and he's fighting him and he's fucking Gandalf up. I'm picturing that.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty on par. I reckon.
Yeah,
that was scary too.
It was fucking that. Yeah, it was scary. So I'm picturing that. All right. So yeah. Then Nesta's just chilling, waiting, sword in hand. She's got a shield as well. She's like acquired a shield along the way and stuff, using it to fight. Chapter 70. Bellius and his warriors, they get up to the pass, but it's a bottleneck, so they can only go one by one to where Nesta is. And so Bellius sends out all his little bitch warriors first, and Nesta's just taking them on. One by fucking one. She's killing them too.
Yeah.
She's fucking killing them. She's drawn a line in the sand or like the dirt, and she's like, I can't cross this line. I need to hold them on this other side of this line. Killing, being a beast. Right. Chapter 71. Azriel says to Koshi, like, the fuck, bruh. And then, I don't know, Koshi just kind of says they've been waiting for them. They've been planning this for days, but they were flying around in the sky, flapping around for too long. And they thought that they would have come down earlier. And they always wanted to bring Azriel and Cassian here. And so then Cassian, he's like thinking, shit, what do I do? And so he says, run. And Azriel grabs Eris, flaps up. Cassian's about to go, but Bryalan uses the crown, stops him from leaving the ground. Azriel and Eris gone, luckily, because he got the knife. But Cassian, he's stuck.
He's gone.
I was thinking, oh, fuck.
No.
And Bryalan goes, hey, you pretty boy, I have need of you, all right? And then she goes to Koshi, all right, winnow us now. I actually was thinking where. I should have known, but I was actually thinking where. Whatever. So Nesta, she's killed all the males, right? Waiting on Bellius or however you fucking say it.
I thought Bryalan and Bellius could have been different names to make it easier.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
A bit weird. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he's also just under the control of Bryalan the whole time.
Yeah.
And so she's waiting for Bellius, and she looks up and she sees that Emery and Gwyn, they've made it to the very top of the mountain and they're about to touch the pillar. So she's kind of like, all right, I'm glad my girls are alive, but I also actually don't want to die. I have something to live for now. I have a mate and shit, and I have friends. And so then Bellius gets up there and he goes, all right, let's fucking do this, pretty girl. Starts going at her. And she's fucked up because she's tired. And he's going, and he actually is a beast. And he ends up kind of fucking her up a bit.
And well, I think that point about how she realized she had a mate was quite, I don't know, a bit of a revelation for her.
Yeah, I would agree.
Is this the part where she's like, my mate? I have a mate.
I don't know.
Was that then or no? I think it was right before he did the fight.
I think you're right.
And she's like, I've got a reason to fight.
So yeah, in chapter 72, so Nesta does, she's taking some attacks and she goes, fuck this. And she's going to go hand to hand with him, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure she like chucks weapons down and so does he. She's going hand to hand with him and she's thinking in her head, she's like, my mate taught me well.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying. And so she's kind of got this like thing of confidence and whatevs. So chapter 73. Bellius ends up just fucking Nesta up hand-to-hand combat, and he's kind of like, this is honestly, how were you even allowed to be in the right? This is easy, motherfucker. And so he's gonna kill her. He originally goes, I don't want any weapons. Cracking your neck is gonna be so much better. And then out of nowhere he goes, actually, wait, no, I think I prefer to slit your throat. Gets a knife out. And then he's about to go slit her throat, and out of nowhere, he just gets fucking head chopped off and then his body falls, and who's behind him? Cassian.
Our boy.
And so obviously I'm thinking, oh no, but it's Cassian. He's under the influence of Bray Allen. Oh my fucking God. And so she turns around, and Cassian is clearly under the control of the Crown, and he's coming over. He kills Bellius. She goes to hug him, and he's like squeezing her too tight, and he goes, now I'm going to slit your fucking throat too. And then she looks over, Bray Allen's there.
I didn't understand why they killed Bellius when he was under the influence of the Crown too, and he's such a fucking beast. He would have been so good to keep under your wing.
So Bray Allen goes on to say he was a good pawn, but he was too bloodthirsty. She says something about that. She said he was good, but I told him just to hurt you. I just wanted him to tire you out because Nesta says. So yeah, basically she goes on to say I just wanted him to tire you out and I didn't want him to kill you because I need you. I need your blood. And then. But he just was like too hungry for fucking blood and wanted to kill her.
He's a beast, eh?
Yeah, he was. To be fair, he was a beast. Glad he's dead.
But he was under the.
He was a fuckwit.
Yeah, but still, he could have been a good Illyrian warrior for Reese.
Yeah, fair.
Looks like he's the best as fucking.
He would have fought for Cassian, to be fair.
Yeah,
I guess. All right. So Nesta goes to Bray Allen. Sorry, chapter 74. Nesta's like, wait. To Bray Allen, the old croony fucking bitch queen. She's like, why? So you made me be part of the right. You know, you fucking put them all under the influence of Crown and shit. Why? What's the point? Like, why make me do this when you could literally just come and kill me yourself with the Crown? And then she goes, nah, you're too powerful. I needed you to be run the fuck down because I can't beat you one-on-one. You're actually, she's like, I think Nessa's way more powerful than she thinks. She's like, nah, you're too powerful. And so then she goes, I don't know why she wanted to use Cassian to do this, but she goes on to say, like, I baited Cassian. I wanted to use Cassian to kill you. I don't know why. Maybe just to like be spiteful.
I was going to say spite. Yeah.
Just to be spiteful. And so she says, yeah, I needed you alive because I need your blood. I know you've like found the trove and shit. I need you to summon the trove. You know, you can summon it. I don't know, all this like random shit, magical shit. And so then she goes, I could use you alive, but literally all I need is your blood. Because she says to Nesta, summon the trove for me, I want it. And Nesta's like, nah, fuck off. Like, I'm not doing it, fuck off. So she goes, well, you could have been alive for this, but all I need is your blood. You know, I'll just use the crown on someone else and I'll get them to tell me where the trove is, where the rest of it is, because they have the other two things. And so she's like, Cassian, kill her. And Cassian goes over to her, picks her up. He's like about to slit her throat. And she's like, come on, do it. And Cassian's like fighting it. Nessa's looking him in the eyes and she's like, I know you're not doing this. She's like telling him eyes to eyes, like, if this is okay, like, I understand this is not your thing. Like, I love you and shit. And then Cassian's like breaks away from the fucking chains of the crown. And instead of killing Nesta, he turns the knife to himself and he's about to kill himself because you have to be mad specific with magical wording. And all Bray Allen said was kill. Didn't say who to kill. So he got to kill whoever he wanted, as long as he killed. Just fucking so many loopholes.
Smart, but techie.
And so Nesta sees the knife is like starting to go into Cassian's heart. And she just fucking loses her mind.
Erupts.
And dawn comes, which means her magic is back from the blood right. And she just fucking erupts with power. Next thing she knows, Cassian's Gornsky, he's fallen over, blown away, and she's on top of Bray Allen and just burns her alive and turns her into ash.
Yeah, she was incinerated.
And why not do that from the start?
It was very quick.
Why not do that from the start?
Wasn't much like fighting. And then, yeah, this is where the loopholes were happening, but then you were just like, oh, well, okay.
I don't know, bro. I just don't really.
Well, I guess she had to experience losing Cassian to harness her death god power. Because, I don't know, she was in pain.
She doesn't know how to use it still.
Yeah, and she needed to go through that. So using Cassian actually bit Bray Allen in the ass.
Yeah.
Because if she used anyone else, Nessa wouldn't have been able to do it, maybe.
Maybe.
Literally anyone else.
And maybe that's just what makes the story a good story.
Makes the story a good story. This is where it starts going downhill for me, I reckon.
So it starts to go very fast downhill for me here.
Yeah.
So chapter 75. So Cassian
turns out to be unharmed by Nesta.
He was like laughing.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, he's like, turns out to be totally fine, right? And what ended up happening was Nesta actually unmade Bray Allen, which is like fucking insane. Whatever. And Nesta does eventually accept out loud to Cassian that they are mates and she wants this, and then they have a big old smoochy smooch. Now, Moore and Azriel appear, winnowed in, okay? They go, all right, Cassian goes, where's Eris? And they're like, yep, he's dealt with. He's safe as per the moment, but there's something wrong. It's Feyre. And I was like, fuck off,
Yeah, I
bro.
know.
Fuck off,
Leave it for
bro.
the next book.
And exactly, because what annoyed me was they go on to be like, wait, what's wrong? It's not two months until she's supposed to go into labor. Like, we have 2 months left to figure this out. I was like, come on.
You had 2 months to write it in the next book. This didn't need to happen.
Chapter 76. Feyre, she's been bleeding, right? She started bleeding a couple hours ago. They're in the room. Everyone's there. All the friends, Marja. And she's like, Marja's like, bitch, this fucking baby's stuck, all right? The wings, they're absolutely destroying you. And this baby is not coming out. She's like, we can't cut it out because no one's ever survived that. And Feyre's just like, fuck it, cut him out. Everyone disagrees for a second. And then she goes, fucking cut it out. And Marja goes, all right, bring me my tools. I'll cut him out. Cuts the baby out.
Reese is like devastated in
Yeah.
the background.
Cuts the baby out. What was the audio like?
Reese was like, no. And then as soon as Farrah said that, he's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So she cuts the baby out, brings it out, gives it to Moore. This thing's not alive, bro.
No.
This baby is not
It was 2
fucking
months
alive.
premature.
2 months primo, baby.
Yeah.
Jesus. Now, the baby's out. It's not alive, clearly. Moore's holding onto it. And Feyre is like, Nesta's kind of powers are really kicking in and she can really tell what's happening. Like, Reese is about to die, the baby's about to die, and Feyre's got like 3 breaths left or some shit.
White
Like,
as a ghost.
Feyre is dying. She is like losing blood. Now, Nesta's like, okay, what can I do? Everyone's trying everything. Like, Cassian and Azriel holding Reese back. Like, you got to let Feyre breathe, bro. Moore's crying. Elaine's crying. And Nesta just goes, fuck it. She summons the mask, the crown, and the harp.
Yeah.
All right?
I was like, about time.
Finally.
We use these things.
And so she summons them. And from Cassian's POV, apparently it's like the eyes that are looking out of the mask were not Nesta's and they're not Fae. He didn't know what creature was looking out. But Nesta starts walking over and she's going to pluck one of the strings on the harp. Now, Reese goes to lunge at her and he just like can't even get through her power. That's how powerful she is.
Why would
Chapter-
Reese lunge at her butt? Obviously, she's
Maybe
there.
he thought that she was going to go kill. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So she plucks the 26th string. Chapter 77. She plucks the 26th string. Now, just so it happens that the 26th string seems to be time itself. She plucks it, time stops. All right? Everyone's stuck there, and she's just chilling, observing. Now, she goes over to Feyre. And she goes over to Feyre. And she can feel death coming to her, to the baby, to Reese. And then she's kind of like chilling. You know, she stopped time, so death's waiting. And then she goes over to Feyre and she basically just hugs her. And she just, she says that she loves Feyre. And she says I'm assuming the cauldron, I think that's who she's saying it to. She says, I'll give it all back if you just save her and the baby. I'll give all of it back. You can have every ounce of it. I don't care. So she keeps on repeating herself. She says, you can have it all back. She keeps on saying, I love you to Feyre. And so she feels a tattoo form on her back or something, right?
Mm.
She feels a tattoo form. And so a bargain has been struck. And then time resumes. Massive flash of light. They're chilling for a second. And everyone's like, comes back to, they're all like, Nesta was there. Now she's here crying on Feyre's chest, like saying, I love you. And then out of nowhere, they hear the baby cry. So it's alive. And Moore is like looking at it and the baby's crying. Feyre stops bleeding. Reese is sweet. And Feyre says to Nesta, I love you too. Also, Nesta says that that's the first time she's ever told Feyre she loves her.
Yeah. Wholesome.
Wholesome, bro.
Hop, skip, and a jump though, eh?
Wholesome. So basically,
And now Nesta's got almost none of her powers.
Yeah, she says that during the bargain, she like felt all the powers leave, but someone decided that she still needed some or deserved some, so she can still feel some of it there.
Yeah. I feel like that someone will be in the next book.
I think it was the mother.
I thought it was someone else.
No, they say it was the mother, I think.
Oh,
But it could be someone else. I like that.
I thought it was.
Also, obviously, they needed to nerf Nesta.
Yeah, they did.
Nesta was too powerful otherwise. They needed to nerf her, which is annoying because Beast
Yeah.
was a beast.
Didn't even use it.
Anyways, yeah, I wanted her to fucking like overthrow everything
Well,
for some reason.
Cassian says later on, like in one of the later
Yeah.
chapters when they talk for like the last 3
Mm.
chapters, didn't you want to keep it?
Yeah, I know. So, Baby goes and sits on Farrah's boob, starts sucking milk out, right? Reese goes over to Nesta, drops to his knees, starts crying, just thanking her. She just looks down at him, picks up his face, and drops to her knees and just hugs him. I was like, I kind of liked it when they hated each other.
Oh, it was
But
wholesome.
also, this is wholesome as fuck.
It's always going to be a happy ending.
Of course. Now, in chapter 78, Emery and Gwyn, remember, Emery and Gwyn like just finished the ride
Forgot about them.
and just touched the stone and got winnowed out, by
Yeah.
the way. So these motherfuckers are like the first in probably 500, 400 years or whatever to actually do that.
Yeah.
Where's their praise?
But also, the timing doesn't really work because as soon as they touch the emerald or stone at the top, they said they got transported to
They got transported to the river house
the river house. But
as if the stone knew they needed to be there.
But in the time that Azriel and Moore picked up Nesta and Cassian, and then went there, and then went and did all that, and then established that Feyre was dying, they'd already finished when the sunrise. As soon as the sun rose, they should have touched it and came down. The storyline of the timing is off.
Well, they touched it just before the sun rose,
Yeah.
so they completed the rite. But they did say that Feyre's been bleeding for a few hours now. But what I want to know is, they touch the stone, and they get winnowed
Yeah.
to the river house before Cassian even shows up and
That's
Nesta
what's-
kills Briallen, even though it has been a couple of hours that Feyre's been bleeding. So what do? Show up at the river house and then just sit there?
So you reckon they got up before? I thought they just hadn't rocked up for a couple of hours and then they.
No, I reckon they've just been chilling at the fucking river house.
Yeah, because either they should walk in at the same time that Azriel
Like,
and Moore winnowed them.
Maybe they heard Feyre like fucking screaming and crying and shit about the bleeding and the pain and just thought, yeah, we better just chill out here.
Yeah, just one of the most important things.
Yeah, because Nesta says she just walks out of the room that Feyre's having the kid in,
Yeah.
and she's in like some foyer, and that's just where they are.
Maybe.
And they said, yeah, we just like got winnowed here.
I stand by.
We've just been standing here since we got winnowed here.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy. Anyways, and then Reese and Feyre name their son Nyx.
We were wrong.
Oh well. Cassian goes to speak with Nesta. Is like, is your power really gone? And then she goes, yeah, no, pretty much. I can feel some of it. And he's like, why'd you let it all go, bro? You could have fucking like
Ruled the world.
completely ruled the world. And then she goes, yeah, it's just not anything I want though. I just want you.
Boring.
I just want you. And then he's like, yeah, fair. I just want you too. She goes, I did make a couple changes though.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I did make a couple changes while I was doing that bargain. So what I actually did was Feyre's anatomy is now that of an Illyrian.
Yeah.
So this won't happen again. And then she goes, I may have changed my anatomy too.
Hey.
I may have changed my anatomy too. And then Cassian goes, oh, you wanna have a baby with me? You wanna have a baby with
Not
me?
right now, man. Chill out.
And she goes, whoa, hold your fucking horses, pretty boy. I'm still gonna be taking that elixir that stops that shit. But one day
The future.
in the future,
Planning the future.
I do want to have a little chicky baby family with you in the future. Chapter 79. Cassian is going to the Hewn City, and that's where Eris is chilling. He's just chilling in a room, reading a book. He's been, going about his business. And Cassian goes in and he has a chat to him, and he's like trying to find out what he told Briallen and what he told his father. And Eris goes, honestly, you have nothing to worry about. They got everything out of me. And he's told Cassian everything he told them. And then Cassian goes, oh, you really didn't know that much after all. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And so he does feel bad for Eris, though, because he... so Eris is still kind of being a dick. And then he says to Eris, like, what actually... like, why did you leave Moore in the forest all those years ago? And Eris is like...
I was like, oh, yes.
So I was so finally we get to find out.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Just tell me, bro. Like, what? Why did you? And he goes, Eris is like, well, it's ancient history, man. It's 500 fucking, it's like 400 years ago or whatever. What? It doesn't matter. And Cassian's like, come on, just fucking tell me. And then Eris somehow changes the subject. So Cassian's like, whatever. Cassian goes to walk out and he's like, you know what, Eris? I do think you're a good man. I really do. But I think you're too much of a coward to just be it. And then he just leaves.
Trapped in a bad situation.
Yeah, he said, I think you're a good man trapped in a bad situation. I think you're too cowardly to fucking try and get out of it. And I was like, fuck, I guess fair. But
Well, he was getting tortured by his dad too, and there's like, what type of court is this to torture your own son?
I know, but still, like, Sarah J. Maas.
Tell me.
You know what? I think Sarah J. Maas wants there to be a secret, but she hasn't thought of the story behind it yet. I don't even think Sarah J. Maas knows what the secret is yet.
Oh, interesting.
And that's why she keeps getting referenced. That's why Eris kept on saying, more knows, more knows, more knows. She's too scared to say it.
And then she's like, I had a good idea, and then someone told her, nah, it's shit.
And so now Sarah J. Maas is just like, fuck, I better really like figure this shit out. And now chapter 80. Nesta, Feyre, Nyx, and Elaine.
Next.
They go for a nice little stroll. Apparently, like Feyre goes for walks, and she's just constantly either accompanied by Rhys, Azriel, Mor, or Cassian, and just to like stay safe. Yeah. So Elaine and Nesta are with her today, and they go up to their father's grave. It's the first time Nesta's gone up there. Feyre has a little chitty chatty, and then Nesta talks about how they're having like a massive mating ceremony, and ever since she saved Feyre, Rhys has just been giving her gifts on gifts on gifts on gifts on gifts. He gifted Nesta the fucking House of Wind.
That's crazy.
He goes, the House of Wind is yours. All we want is the Starfall party and anything like, if there's ever like a city event, we just need the House of Wind. And Nesta was like, done. Done, bro.
Yeah.
I'll fucking take it.
As if.
And I was like, what?
That is crazy.
And then she's like, all right, enough with the gifts, Rhys. I can't take it anymore.
House of Wind.
All I want now, okay, we are even if you just throw me a great mating ceremony. And apparently he has been decking this shit out. Like he has been spending copious amounts of money on this mating ceremony. So now she likes Rhys. And so they go, visit the grave. And Feyre chats, Elaine chats, and then it's Nesta's turn. Nesta goes up and she's like, says to her sisters, like, give me a second. And they walk off. And then Nesta just like apparently apologizes to her father's grave for everything. And she's going to try and re-earn his love and try and re-earn it with Cassian's love and shit like that. And then she just fucking gets up, leaves, and goes and sees her sisters. And then they're done. Happy ending.
It's the end of the book.
That was the end of the book.
It's the end of all of them, of the journey.
There's one more, but it's not out yet.
The journey together.
So we're done.
So I guess we can go thoughts and feelings of this book, the whole series, predictions for the next book.
Whole series is amazing. Got me into reading. Hopefully it sticks me into reading. Along the journey, I want to say a big thank you to Sarah J. Maas. This has been fucking awesome. Big thank you to the baddies.
Yeah, massive
This has
thank you
been
to
fucking
baddies.
awesome.
Yeah.
Huge thank you to Oddie.
Yeah.
Huge
Huge
thank you
to Jake.
Okay. What do you think, Oddie? How do you feel about the series?
Okay, so coming from two boys, but myself as well, never reading any type of fantasy, thoroughly enjoyed it. I was very unknowing of the storyline and how detailed it was. And I'm a big lover of The Hobbit, and the crossover of it was crazy.
Yeah.
Which I really loved. I'm going to say this book rating, it was a 9 for me until the ending. I'm going to put it as a 7.
Yeah.
A Court of Thorns and Roses as a whole, though, I'm going to put it as a solid, it's the only one I've ever read, like the series of fantasy, but I'm going to give it a solid 8.6.
Okay. I'm going to give this book, I'm going to be with you on this book.
Yeah.
Low 7.
It was so good until it wasn't.
Low 7s. Feels as though it was like, it feels as though she she said maybe it's time for this book to end, and so she just had to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I guess what she has also done is like she has set it up so now Feyre and Rhys have a kid.
True.
You know, I'm very excited to play Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
ACOTAR Prithian edition
Yeah.
without any spoilers. Cannot wait.
That'd be good, eh?
Whole series though, because it's the book that got me into reading, and it's the only series I've ever read, I'm gonna give it a 10.
A 10.
But subject to change
Yeah.
with other series we read. Because if we read another series,
that's a cop-out answer.
why?
It's because if it was shit and it was the only...
This is my only. I don't have a frame of reference. This is my new frame of reference.
Yeah.
So this has to be the highest. It's 10.
I reckon give an actual answer out of 10.
But I don't know if there's anything better.
I mean your enjoyment level out of it.
Enjoyment level's 10.
10. Do you reckon it's a 10?
All I've done is enjoy myself.
Yeah. Okay.
If
fair enough.
anything, if not 10, 9, 8.
Yeah, okay.
There is some endings that I wasn't overly happy with, but enjoyment levels is
So you are-
through the
you're
roof.
not- it's
like
a 9, okay.
I want there to be more.
Okay. I'm with
So all right then, 9, 8.
you. Okay. There you go.
9, 8.
Yeah.
Not a
It
10.
could have been the shittest book ever, but it's the only thing I've ever read, so it's a 10.
Exactly. That's what's wrong with that.
I see the logic, but I wanted the actual answer.
But I can't give it actually. I need to read more series.
Oh, I did.
And that's actually yours is a false answer because you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't
true.
actually know, do you? This could be the best series ever written, and every other series is shit compared to this. And now you've given this a 7 when it should be a 10.
I gave it an 8.6. I gave that book a 7.
Ah.
Yeah, the whole series an 8.6, which I
Alright.
think is right.
Predictions for next book.
Azriel and Elaine will fall in love, but they'll have to hide it from Rhys because he said don't go near her, and then there'll be some whole storyline of them running around falling in love, and then they'll have to tell Rhys and Feyre. And then there'll be something to do with Eris and Moore. Don't know what yet. Maybe they'll have an affair or something. That'd be sick. I don't know.
Unfair.
Oh, it's not an affair, but like because I
Gotta start hooking up.
oh yeah, just behind closed doors or something. Something will go. What do we think the Moore announcement is? Because she's gay, but what Eris did, there has to be more to that.
I think that because
And Azriel knows.
what?
Or we think he knows whatever Eris did.
But he still hates Eris,
Yeah,
so he can't know.
true. Unless it's actually
Because
bad.
he nearly
still.
killed Eris.
True.
Remember in the meeting, the High Lords? That was sick.
Yeah, I forgot about that. What could it possibly be? It's not as everyone else seems. She's not telling the truth. I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's got to be good though. The suspense.
I think we've got another multi-character POV coming.
Everyone. I reckon. Or do you reckon they're going to talk about Nyx and stuff?
So I think it's going to be set multiple years in the future.
I reckon they're going to go straight to the mating ceremony.
You think they're going to start from the mating ceremony?
That's what I reckon. Yeah, straight from there.
Nah, I think it's going to be multiple years in the future, and Nyx is going to be a little kid.
Yeah, fair.
And it's going to be like, here's the only thing, right? Is it's ended on a good note. So I think that if anything, it almost feels like Rhys and Feyre's story is over.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I don't think much would go on with Nyx. And it
Yeah,
starts from there.
it almost feels like Rhys and Feyre's story could be over, and there's obviously things you could bring up, but it would just feel like if a big problem arose, you would just be bringing it up purely because you want to write Feyre and Rhys. So I do like the idea of Azriel and Elaine, but I also think Azriel might be into Gwyn.
Ooh, I could see that too. I was thinking he was
Cheeky
going
love
to
triangle.
get with Gwyn out of spite for not being able to get with Elaine.
I'm thinking cheeky love triangle.
I like Gwyn.
Yeah,
What was the guy's name in the Bloodright who we never heard about, who's hid in the cave?
Balthazar.
I reckon we'll see him again.
I want to see Balthazar again.
I reckon something will happen and he'll help Rhys, or he'll get in the court somehow, and maybe he'll get with Gwen. We'll have to wait and see. The interesting about this, every single one of our predictions, the baddies have known if they're right or wrong.
They don't know now.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw a prediction a long time ago that Book 6 is going to be a Tamlin return arc.
I didn't even think of that.
Tamlin.
I've been saying from the start a redemption arc.
a redemption arc.
Yeah, I've been saying that from the start. I would love that. To be fair, that's a knot that wasn't tied at the end. It's still loose.
Still
Yeah,
very
end.
loose.
Very
I wouldn't
loose
mind a Hellion book. I actually would love to know what the day court's like. What,
So would I.
Like characters in the day court and shit. Like,
Is this the-
expand it.
Is the sixth book the last one, or could there be more?
I don't know.
Crazy. It's supposed
Throne of Glass is 8 books.
Each book you release, you probably just get like $20 million. So just keep going.
Why not?
Okay. Well,
Big announcement.
that's it for Court of Thorns and Roses.
That's it, dude.
I will leave this up to you, my friend.
Baddies. Okay. How do I announce this? We have finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, the series. We loved it. Now, in between this series that we just read and the next series that we pick up, we have decided to read a one-off standalone book, all right, in a completely different genre. This genre is psychological thriller, all right? They are making a movie about this that's coming out in December. It's got a bit of hype, some good actors, and this book has got some hype. It's nice and short, very readable, supposed to be very exciting. And that book is The Housemaid.
The Housemaid.
So we will be reading The Housemaid for the next few weeks while we go over every single piece of just material that we have been suggested when it comes to romantasy.
Yeah, so the next series will be something to do in the fantasy world,
Yes.
and we will pose that to you guys.
Yes.
There will be a poll, but this is just our filler book. I think it's a very good choice,
Yeah.
and just a little bit of a mental refresh, and it's just one thing. And is there 2 more books coming out?
So there is 2 more books, but apparently this is a book you could read as a standalone. But there is 2 more. So in between all the series we read, we might just have little one-offs with the Housemaid series.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. And
Well, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the
Yeah.
book club as a whole. It started as a segment. I remember, obviously, a book club's not the newest idea, but I remember having the idea when I was in Bali last year. And I voice messaged Jake. I was at the airport. And I was like, do you reckon a book club would do good? And you're like, you know what? It would. And my girlfriend was reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. And it started as a segment. The segments were popping off. We're getting comments. And we're like, shit, this has got something in it. The legs. And it's got so many legs that the baddies love it so much. It became its own thing. It's turned our Patreon into the best. It was already the best place, but even better place ever. So thank you.
thank you guys very, very much. And
Oh, chapters next week. The Housemaid.
1 second, let me see.
Is there enough time for when this comes out and the baddies can order and read along with us? 10 chapters.
Dude, 10 chapters is only 56 pages.
We might be able to cut this out. Do you want to do hour-long episodes or just have a little break and do 45-minute episodes?
Yeah, fuck, let's do that. And also, I was going to say, do you reckon we just wait till we do the next episode to kind of talk about how we're going to do them?
Yeah, I can just do it.
Yeah, don't even
Yeah.
don't do that.
Sizzle
We'll just do
them.
short recaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, not super in depth.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, before we finish, Jake, how many chapters we'll be reading next week?
I'm going to say we'll start off with 10.
Yeah.
And if it's super long, we'll do less. And if it's super short, we'll do more.
Okay.
So 10 is a sweet spot, I believe, to start with. 10 chapters. We'll see you next week. And we love you.
Stay bad.